Hello people, this is David and you're watching Btekt, and welcome to my unboxing of Huawei's non-Pro variant of the P30 series. And I've got a feeling that this handset might be a better fit for some people. It's still a flagship in its own right, and it's really not that much different from the P30 Pro. But before we get going, let me say a big thank you to Direct Mobiles. Over 24 years of award-winning customer service. It's definitely worth a look if you're after a new phone. Their link is in the video description below, or just search directmobiles.co.uk. So we've got a 6.1 inch display with the P30. It has the same resolution as the P30 Pro at 1080 by 2340, but has a slightly higher pixel density at 422 ppi versus 398 on the P30 Pro. Still with a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio and still HDR10 compliant. The main difference with the screen is that it's not curved, which will appeal to some people over the curved display on the P30 Pro. Another thing that might appeal to some people is the inclusion of the 3.5mm headphone jack, which I think is a really good move from Huawei. Again, I think it will make it more appealing to some people despite the lower specs. So inside the box, other than the handset, we get Huawei's 40-watt supercharger, which is just a great thing to have, charging this device to 70% in less than half an hour. USB Type-C cable and of course the 3.5mm headphone. It actually feels very nice in the hand. A little bit smaller, a little bit lighter than the P30 Pro. Feels slightly nicer, I would say. Internally, we're running the same Kirin 980 processor, but with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of onboard storage. Battery power is down a little bit on the P30 Pro, but it's still a very respectable 3650 mAh. So one of the first things that I like to do with the EMUI 9 devices is to set up the gestures. To do this, it's found under System, then System Navigation. But as this is the first time setting up the device, it will suggest that I set up the gestures and give this little demonstration of how it works. Swipe in from either the left side or the right side of the screen to go back. Swipe up to go back to the home screen, or you can swipe up and hold to get your list of recent apps. I know it's probably not for everybody, but for me it's the best way of getting around. I find it to be a much smoother way of navigating and just more enjoyable to use in general. Another suggestion that the phone is giving me is to set up the fingerprint ID, which is always a good idea. So if you hit security and privacy, you get your security options. Select fingerprint ID. First you'll need to set up a PIN. I'm going to change my unlock method here and get a 4-digit PIN. You can change it whether you want a 6-digit PIN, custom PIN pattern or password. Once you've set that up, it will allow you to set up the fingerprint ID. Just click add fingerprint and keep pressing on the pad until your fingerprint is registered. If you set up the fingerprint scanner as well as the face unlock, then unlocking the phone becomes really simple. The fingerprint scanner on the P30 Pro is way improved over the scanner that we saw on the Mate 20 Pro, and I'm expecting it to be exactly the same here. I think it's nice that they've included the in-display fingerprint scanner with the normal P30. I think that's going to get a lot more people going for the cheaper option than did with the P20. The triple Leica camera system on the P30 has the ultra-sensitive 40MP super spectrum sensor, as well as a 20MP ultra wide-angle camera and an 8MP telephoto. The telephoto has a 3x optical zoom, and this camera has a 5x hybrid zoom. The maximum digital zoom goes all the way up to 30x, so it's still very impressive, although you probably won't get the best shots at 30x magnification. Max video resolution is 4K 30 frames per second, although I'm shooting here at 1080p because the stabilization is just so good if you choose not to shoot in 4K. To be honest, I'm really impressed by the P30. It's really not that different, and the differences are actually things that people might dislike about the P30 Pro, such as the curved screen and the fact that it doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack. The camera system, okay, is not the same, but it does have the super spectrum sensor, and it's a 40MP triple Leica camera system, so it is an incredible camera in its own right. If it wasn't for the P30 Pro, this could easily pass for a flagship. I guess you could argue that it's still priced at a flagship. It costs £699, but that is £200 cheaper than the P30 Pro. If you're more of an audiophile rather than a photographer, then this could be the one to go for. So far, I really like the Huawei P30. Look out for my full review, which will be out very soon. So that's it from me. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the subscribe button, double tap notifications and smash the like button for me. Or you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. It's @Btekt. Or add me on Snapchat, david.btekt. Thanks for watching. My name's David and this is Btekt.